Same,
So-
it just didn't, they didn't have all the
Just say
cells.
go when
correct.
okay.
And we're really approving the 4 bid packages, not anything down, not the guaranteed maximum prices. The letters that came out, those we'll do that at another date, because they're not right now. There's some things that were,
We can talk about it.
yeah, just the site conditions and things like that that were.
All right, so we're gonna call this to order tonight here at 6:30, right on the dot. Tasia, would you please take the roll call for us?
Yep. Bruce Blargen.
Here.
Katie Thermos.
Here.
Marie Kolbe.
Here.
Bob Gunther.
Here.
Patty Jo Forsberg. Catherine Cranston.
Here.
Lori Blargen.
Here. Thank you very much. Just a reminder, we're all aware of the protocols. We're gonna roll right on into approval of the agenda, please. If anyone would be willing to make the motion?
So move.
Thank you, Lori. And a second?
Second.
We try to do it like that.
First.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to approve the agenda as presented. Do we have any public comments tonight? I don't have any pink slips. I'm gonna move us right on to 4, the construction bid presentation. We've got the documents. Thank you very much for coming and joining us tonight. Hey Patty Jo, thanks for coming. So,
I'll make a motion to recommend the school board approve, the construction bids. No. No, the actual bids, that's all we're approving tonight.
Right.
so approve and award the construction bids as presented? Is that your motion, Bruce?
I mean, I don't know if we award, but yeah, sure.
Well, that word's in the paper, there's, on the agenda, so we'll
Award
take a
construction
strike.
bids.
Do you want- So we're gonna, do you want it worded like it is on the agenda? That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And anyone interested in a second there?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. So we have a motion and a second on the table for approval and awarding of the construction bids as presented by Bruce, seconded by Bob. Do we have any questions on this?
I do. Okay, so when, in these alternates that are included, so the dollar amounts that were shown in the totals, like look at the elementary school cost recap, that 2,503,719.
Yep.
So you'd add in the expenses for alternates 2B and 3A as you're recommending if we approve this?
The alternates in the Bob and that tabulation are already included above.
There,
They're already included in the belt numbers.
So the bid, the award letter includes the alternates, which matches this price here.
Correct.
okay, so the, even though they're separate on here, they are
It's kind
included.
of just
Right,
a.
the alternates
Okay,
are
that's-
included.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Do we have any other questions?
Well, I discussed with Bruce, some of the significant over budgets. And there's information that is not included on the agenda that Bruce gave me, regarding additional bids for many of these bids. There were, so it's in this booklet.
Yep.
And is that why it's not all attached to the agenda? Because it's so many documents? I'd like people in the community who are interested in knowing more about these bids and why people got them who did, to have access to that information. So can all the other documents that show the several bids for each piece be included as tabs, as they were in the document that Bruce and perhaps Bob got that by email as well? I don't know. I didn't, but Bruce shared that information with me when I was talking with him about it.
Would this in any way impact or jeopardize someone else bidding?
Nope.
So there's really no harm done in sharing
There's not.
those?
All the folks that had bid, successful or not, have been notified.
Yeah.
So they
And it should be public.
know.
I mean, it can be,
So
if
it can be.
there's
Yeah,
more.
just it'll be the sheets that we have, these are the same.
Yeah, the people, everybody on that bidding list, you know, I mean, obviously, they can hand the bid in and they get to see the bids be read out loud. in person at that 2 o'clock bid opening, but in addition to that, we all follow up with all the bidders that you see on that list, and they all get the information, so. And that
Because-
information's out there, it's not a secret.
Yep.
You know,
Because some of the bids are significantly over budget, but the people who got them were the lowest bid. And I'd like the public to be able to see
Right.
that.
I agree.
So that's not, that linkage isn't part of it, but
We can do it.
yeah.
And there's-
So
are you envisioning that's like posted in the paper or what?
No, just-
Including it as
No.
an attachment to the agenda.
off your shoulders onto hers.
I have no idea if anybody will look, but it's public money, so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's no problem.
Are there any other questions on it?
And everybody got the updated sheet. So, what we have.
Yes, please, accept our
Slip sheet.
apologies, we discovered a discrepancy on the last page, the overall savings that we have currently right now. But we can correct that, and it's included in your packets, it's that loose piece of paper.
So, and the numbers that were the discrepancy was mostly, or it was all owner
Yes,
This
allowances,
is a spreadsheet,
it's not the destruction.
I figured. So, can I ask one more question? Because
Yes.
I was just arguing with Bruce about it.
just keep your arguments there, and we're good.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Okay, so when I look at the numbers, so that would be under, I don't know where these are. When I look at the total number of them,
Mhm.
which of the amount that we're under, which would be 1,784,736, right?
Correct.
That actually includes our entire contingency budget of $1,298,657. So the amount, when I subtracted it, came up to $486,079.
No.
To clarify, the 1.2 million, almost
Is-
$1.3 million is included in the cost. It's already includes a cost at this point. It's not spent yet, it's just, it's.
No, I
included
know,
as a cost.
I know it's not
Oh.
spent, all I'm saying is, so for the board's purposes, when we're trying to figure out
I'm
how
gonna
much
go-
money we have,
Right. I'm
I,
gonna go through that for you.
okay, I just feel like we need to know that roughly there's about $500,000
No,
that
no,
is not contingency.
no, I'll go through it for you. I'll walk through those numbers for you. As soon as, I can either do it now, I'd rather wait till after the motion's passed, and then I'll explain what is our money and what we have left. I've got it all down here,
Okay,
okay?
And then I wanna be clear that this is the bids, this isn't the GMP, we'll
Correct.
approve the GMP later, which will be the total cost, which is around that 23 million. But
Some
so
things
we
we
will,
need some-
that will come up at probably the next board meeting.
Correct.
This is just the bids that are shown on this sheet for each section, so, just to get people going.
So you would rather give your detailed explanation after the motion passes?
Yeah, I think it'll clarify things as far
Are
as
you
what money's
comfortable
out
voting
there.
on the motion as is without that
I'm,
information?
I'm comfortable accepting the bids, absolutely.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on the table. If no further questions on it, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, do you want to give your?
Sure, I just wanna walk through some things, give you an overall picture of where we're sitting right now in a realistic world and an ideal world, what we possibly have here. And, one of the issues that, changing from a 2-season construction project to a 1, we thought we'd save maybe up to 3% on doing this. Well, the savings are significantly more, and I think people need to know that, why we dove into this, because on the conservative end, we're saving about 6.7% by having a project in 1 year, and on the perfect world end, we're saving about 12.9%, but I wouldn't hang your hat on that number. And I'm just walking through this, we had the construction project's roughly around 26.4 million. And we had 28.6 referendum, however, we had a glip of about 380,000. I hope that doesn't happen too many more meetings, I don't wanna lose that.
26.8.
What's that?
26.8.
So we were at 2.1 million under budget. Now we're at 1.7. There's a contingency cost or number factored in to these projects of about 1.2, 1.3 million. That's our money. Now, in a perfect world, great, we see that money, but realizing that we're gonna spend, probably 3 to 4% of that money through the course of the project in different change orders and what have you. We're also going to gain about 400,000 interest income on this. So really, perfect world, we could see 3.5 million under budget, but that's not gonna happen, I'll guarantee you that. But we could have, and again, I've gotta readjust my numbers after this last piece happened here. We're pretty safe in being right around 2 million, maybe a little bit more in under the guaranteed price for this project. That would be your money, the board's money. Does that make sense?
Yes, it still includes our entire contingency though, 1.3 million.
I'm not following that. That 1.3 million is actually added on top of the 1.7. So we technically would have
Right.
$3 million.
In their own, I'm doing the math, and on their budget summary, it's included.
But it's not spent,
Yep.
it's
I know
contingency.
it's not set. I know, I'm just saying, I want us to be aware of that in case contingencies arise and we need to spend it.
Yeah, but we have 1.7 million in contingency to spend.
That's already factored in.
So they have 1.3 in their number. We have an additional 1.7 on top of that
I
number.
added all those up. in the total.
But that's
1.3.
included,
It's
that's
included.
included in this number here, which comes all down to this number. So this would be the
That's why I
GMP for them,
subtracted it out.
but we don't need to subtract it out because it's theirs. So we're basically telling construction, you have an extra 1.3 million on top of the bids to get your job done. Granted, we have to approve that contingency.
Correct.
But then if we spend that whole 1.3 million, which is 6% roughly of the construction, that mean, they spend that 1.3, we still have an additional 1.7 on top of
Plus
that
interest
number.
income, which would be around 2.1,
But as these
2.2.
numbers are, at 1.7 additional on top of that for our owner
Right, discretion.
items. If we wanted to,
If the
middle school
project's,
bathrooms or roundabouts.
So you can
or-
use the entire 1.3 million of contingency, and we'd still be ahead 1.7.
Yes.
Actually, about 2.2.
With the interest.
Well,
With the interest,
I'm
with
just
the
saying
interest.
according to their numbers right now.
Yeah,
But that
according to the
1.3 that in
Does that make
contingency has
sense?
to be approved by the POC.
Yep.
And then come here. So it's not like we're handing them and do what you want with it.
No, that's your money. That 1.3 is still the owner's
So
money.
we still approve
until it
them
gets
all.
approved.
And there's some other pieces in here that are high placeholders that we may see additional savings on. Like earthwork, if we keep the dirt on site here, we would benefit 30, 40 grand from that. There's a
Moisture
couple,
mitigation.
there's a couple things that could add up.
What was the one you said? Moisture?
Moisture mitigation,
Okay.
flooring.
All in all, it sounds like a very good place to be.
We're in a very good place, and I think the important thing is we're way ahead by switching to one construction year. It was very well
Yeah.
worthwhile doing that,
It
as
really
far as the
was.
cost
Thank
savings
you.
to taxpayers and what we're gonna be able to accomplish. The other thing, so I think we're pretty close on the numbers as far as how they play into each other. The alternates that were put in were things that we had to put out in alternates to get the budget down, to get the bidding down. And now that we're in the situation we are, boom, those pieces went in, that was the first line of things. The other pieces that we have to consider when we look at that, whatever that number is, 2.2 or whatever we have, plus whatever the contingency is, we've gotta get that roundabout out of there. And then is that solely on us, or is the city gonna be in part on that? So we have to work that out. We've already had meetings on that. A couple of things that I would place as high priorities, and we'll discuss these later, but we're getting prices on them. there's work, there's maintenance work and things that we didn't include in this because we didn't think we were gonna have money for it. And I would say that we start pushing some of these projects, like the middle school bathrooms. This vehicle shed is a very unsafe situation out here for little kids around here. There's several projects like that that I would just as soon push into these funds and then be able not to take them out of our general fund, to build our general fund up for other expenditures that we may have down the road, which is, whatever we spend our general fund on, which is people, which is operations, but it's a win-win deal. Because we have a couple years of, where's Dave? What do we have, a couple years to spend this money?
Yep, we can keep going next summer.
And we have to be careful what we spend it on too. We can, you have to, when you look at expenditures, we can't be fixing the track, we can't be putting an auditorium or anything like that. You have to stick to what your question was. And it was maintenance, safety, and things like that. So, something like new bleachers, it might be a stretch, but it could be a health and safety thing. I'm just saying that there are things that we can and cannot spend this money on, and that's why I would say, as a strategy, I'd like to look at doing more maintenance type things that are gonna cost us out of the general fund in the long run, get it done with this money, and then start building our general fund up. Again, just a strategy, but I just want to lay that out there as far as a long-term plan there.
But if we were to do it out of the general fund, you'd still be able to keep the margin so that we could maintain our rating? I know it's higher than what many
You're
Minnesota.
talking our fund balance?
Yes, so that, I
You
know
got
it's
a larger
higher
fund
than-
balance, obviously, that helps us with our credit
Definitely.
rating and what have you.
We're not
We've got an
touching that.
opportunity here, win-win thing, to do more than we thought we were gonna be able to do, but still keep it in the scope of the original question.
Good.
And also build fund balance if we use it right. So if that makes sense, and we'll talk about that more. I mean, that's just a strategy, it's not something I'm saying, hey, let's get a motion or anything like that on, so.
Very good. If nothing more on that one, we'll move on to the item 5, because I was thinking you guys probably don't want to stick around, but you might want to stick around for this next one. Topics for action. I'm looking for a motion. Recommend the school board approve payment of Market Johnson invoice for the amount of $20,501 as presented.
Like it, yes, pass.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bruce.
I'll second.
Thank you, Katie. Do we have any questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There we go. And then looking for a motion on recommend the school board approve the overnight travel for the Dynamics.
So moved.
Thank you, Katie. I'll second that. We don't have anyone here tonight talking about that, but if somebody would like to, I think it's wonderful.
Well, it's a great, I mean, those are just nice trips, good enrichment trips.
All right, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, thank you. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, we'll talk.
We appreciate the family, too.
No worries. Take care.
So we've got a once around the table. Do we have anything, Bob?
I know.
Patty Jo? Catherine?
No.
Lori?
Not at this time.
Bruce?
Hockey team went to state,
Yeah.
boys hockey and the boys basketball playoff game tomorrow night.
And
in
how far
Somerset.
along is that in the playoff?
Boys,
Yeah.
the first game.
Okay.
So the first starts, so they have a home game tomorrow night, and if they win, they'll have one Friday, I think.
And we had a wrestler go to state. who better
He took
did.
fourth?
Yeah, he did better than he did last year, so. Katie?
Nope.
I'm sorry, Bruce, I didn't.
That was it.
Okay. All right. So then, we're on to item 7. Adjourning into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 1985 1C to consider the employment and performance evaluation data of a public employee over which the board has jurisdiction. Looking for a motion to move into closed session.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second to move into closed session. I'll take a roll call vote, is that correct?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Katie? Yes. Myself, yes. Bob?
No.
Patty Jo?
Yes.
Catherine?
No.
Lori?
Yes.
Did I miss something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 4 yeses and 2 noes, so.
I'm gonna excuse myself. We have guidance on this from our attorney in Somerset Police Department. I don't know what there is for the board to discuss in this.
And I agree too, but I'd
so
like to see
I'm
the
gonna
motion.
excuse myself.
Okay. All right, so we're into closed session then?
I'm not gonna stay for the closed session either.